Very good morning and welcome to this morning's edition of the Yes 101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jadabdin. We start off with a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
And in headlines, teachers and principals launch trade union action based on salary disparities. Maritime Search and Rescue Unit informed of missing fishing vessel Regina Mary. Search operations underway. 6-member delegation from Singapore arrive upon request of Minister Tiran Alas. UK Parliament dissolves ahead of election. And now your news in detail. And in local news, teachers and principals in schools across the island will engage in trade union action today. Convener of the National Collective Against Teachers and Principals Salary Disparities, Venerable Ulapane Sumangalathir, says teachers and principals will report sick today. The decision has been made due to the lack of solutions provided to issues related to salary anomalies. The Minister of Education in a statement confirmed that schools will operate as usual today and tomorrow despite the trade union action launched. Meanwhile, the strike initiated by non-academic employees of the state universities continues for the 29th consecutive day. Joint convener of the University Trade Union Alliance, Damik S. Priyantha, says activities across universities have been severely disrupted as a result of the strike launched. Over 15,000 non-academic employees have initiated a strike, urging the government to address several critical issues. These include the agreed upon monthly allowance and the provision of 15% salary reduction implemented in 2016. Moving on to more local news, a 6-member delegation from the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority Singapore have arrived in Sri Lanka for a visit. The Department of Government Information says the objective of this visit is to enhance cooperation and upgrade Sri Lanka's immigration system to align with Singapore's standards by integrating advanced technology. The delegation arrived in the country following a request made by the Minister of Public Security Tiran Alas to the Minister for Law of Singapore, K. Shanmugan. The visit will also contribute towards Sri Lanka's efforts to modernize and improve all immigration, visa and citizenship processes. After conducting a comprehensive study of the airport and immigration department, Minister Alas requested a detailed report on measures to elevate Sri Lanka's system to Singapore standards. In response, the delegation has announced the report will be provided within a month. And also in more local news, the Department of Fisheries has informed the Maritime Search and Rescue Unit in the area and vessels passing through of Regina Mary, a missing fishing vessel. Its Director General Susantha Kahawatha says the missing vessel had last departed at the Vallamankaraya fishing harbour. Communication with the fishing vessel has also been lost. The multi-day fishing vessel had left for sea on the 26th March with 6 fisherfolk in the vessel. Accordingly, fisherfolk informed the owner of the vessel of the low fuel levels in the vessel. It was last informed of a fault in the battery of the vessel on the 16th May. Since then, neither the owner nor the members of the owner's family have been able to communicate with the group. According to the Director General, the vessel was 340 nautical miles away from land when it last maintained communications with the vessel. The fisherfolk are residents of Maravilla, Thoduwaba and Mahawaba. Up next is international news.
International news.
And in international news, the British Parliament dissolved ahead of a July 4th general election which looks set to bring Labour to power after 14 years rather of conservative rule. 5 weeks of campaigning officially began as 650 seats of members of parliament became vacant at 1 minute past midnight in line with the electoral schedule. The first week of campaigning has seen a shaky start following Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's rain-drenched election announcement, with many observers taking the downpour as a bad omen. Sunak said the election for the 4th of July instead of later in the year, as had been widely expected in what observers said was an attempt to regain momentum as his party slides in opinion polls. Up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And finally, in sports, an extraordinary gazette was issued suspending the registration of the Sri Lanka Cycling Federation, Sri Lanka Rugby Federation, Sri Lanka Automobile Federation and Sri Lanka Netball Federation. The Director General of the Department of Sports Development has been appointed as competent authority of the said sports federations. With that, we wrap up this morning's edition of the Yes 101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Joed Abdin. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.